I'm just going to tell you about my Loffet CF, which I'm offering for sale. This is, it weighs 4.5 kilograms compared with 5.3 for a Mori, and its cost new is about 3,000 euros. It's just 10 euros short of that. Okay, and it's 3 voices and 2.6 rows. Okay, and we've got 12 basses. There we are. So it's got tipo a mano reeds, which are apparently the same as Castagnari. That is, they are Antonelli or voci a manici, whatever that is, the same as Castagnari. And these are well played in. As Norba Pignol says, it takes 3 years. This is a lot longer than 3 years to play in these reeds. Okay, and so I'll just demonstrate the voices. The reeds play when you have them down. So it's that one, isn't it? Okay, so we'll play the single voice. I think it's a very sweet tone. And the next one is 2 medium voices together with a slight swing of about 1 beat a second. And all that. Okay, so that's that one, and then we have the low reeds. I'll just play them by themselves to give you an idea. Normally play them. I play it with the medium reed that makes it a bando setting, which is the way I've used for most of my YouTube recordings. together. Plein jeu. See if I can do an English type tune. Probably can't. Put some thirds in. Quite okay for push-pull. So I don't know why you want to place here for English, but it could do. Okay, so there's the three voices, and we've got 12 basses, and we have two stops at the top here. I keep showing it to the microphone instead of to the camera, which isn't very sensible. Okay, so one stop will put in the thirds and take out the thirds. This couldn't be major. And then the other stop will take out the low bass. So here's it with the basses in. So we'd use that if you were playing something light at the top. Okay, I'll tell you a bit more about the box. I am told that it is made by the very respected factory of Serenellini, as commissioned by Monsieur Loffet. And the reed box you can see at the end of the video, and when I took it to Ivor Hyde, he said they were Castagnari reed blocks. They're varnished, and but they're not marked Castagnari, so they must be like Castagnari. And being so light and relatively small for a nearly 3-row box, it's very manageable, and the air button is very good because you can come back if you need to come back. So come straight back in. Right, what else do I need to tell you about? I'll tell you about the keyboard. You've obviously got a C row and an F row, but it's good to have 6 buttons here rather than only 5. Lots of 2.5 rows only have 5 for some reason, including the Castagnari. And the advantage is you have reversals in both octaves. And if we're thinking DG fingering for a moment, so that's D in DG fingering, and it's always on the push, of course. But on this you have a reversal, so you've got it on the pull. Push, pull, but you've also got it in the other octave. and then also for E. For the E is always on the pull. But now you've got E on the push as well. Pull, push, pull, push. And why does that matter? Well, if you're playing in what in DG speak would be A minor, well, really G minor, you need to play the chords on the pull, because so we want to have the notes on the pull as well. So here we have A, B, C, D, E, F. And similarly, if you're in if you're in there and you wanted to do a G chord, it's on the push, you might want to do. So there's my E, D, C, so I've got my E on the push, because I need a G chord on the push. Of course, all these notes sound one note lower than what I'm saying, because of it being in CF. Okay, right, so finally, why bother having a CF instrument after all? Well, you will notice that Andy Cutting carries around his DG and his CF, and Frederick Paris carries around his GC and his CF, and it's quite common to do that. And the reason I have it, because I'm playing with bagpipes and hurdy-gurdies, and they're very often playing in G minor, which is my A minor fingering, or they're playing in D minor, or else they're playing in a G major, but they've got modal notes, which I don't have on my 8-bass DG. Okay, so the other interesting thing is that Norbert Pignol, on his tuition discs, gives his opinion that the CF is the instrument. GC is too low. The CF has the merit of tackling the keys you need. And I find I'm using them a lot, especially when it changes from major to minor. There we go. So it changes from major to minor. Okay, I think that's all I've got to say. There's plenty of my previous recordings on the... Right, now I've taken the grill off, and you can see that although there's nearly 3 rows of buttons, there's only 2 rows of whatever these are called, soupape valves. And the other thing which is very interesting is that this row here is operated not directly by the button, it's pivoted over here. So there's the pivot. So it's pivoted with the valve coming to a fixing here, and the lever just lifts that, if you can see, and you can't see that one, can you? There we are. So the lever's in that little fork there, lifting it like that. So it's pivoted from that side. So this row here is pivoted here. And so that means that there's an equality in how much they lift with the buttons. Otherwise, if they were all operated by levers like, well, anyway, you get what I'm saying. They all have long levers, that's right. So that has this has a long lever from here, and then this has a long lever from here. And so we have none with short levers, which would create a different touch, I suppose. Anyhow, and the other thing to note, compared with some accordions, is how long the pads are, so that there's quite a big aperture, which I think may have something to do with how the sound comes out so easily. And we have an aluminium fondo, aluminium sound box, board, whatever it's called. And then we have the stops here. Okay, so the action has been lowered by Martyn White. Because as it was tapping the back of the grill, but now it's nice and fast and low. Okay. Oh well, here's inside the treble end with the 3 reed blocks, and you notice that they're varnished, so that presumably helps the airflow. And when I took them to Ivor Hyde to get tuned, he said they look like Castagnari blocks. I couldn't possibly comment. I tried to see if there's a name of the reed maker here, but I can't see any name. I was told by Loffet that they were the same as Castagnari at the time, which would have been Antonelli or Voci Armonucci, or whatever it is, tipo a mano. So there's that, and you can see the ply construction, and which is nice and light and rigid, and that's that. Okay, and here we have the bass end. Haven't taken the bellows off, and again they're varnished reed blocks. You can see the bellows are in good nick.